All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video, this is the week 7 assignment number 2 video. You'll see that I have my Desmos scientific calculator pulled up, and we are on the right side of the notes that we took from our assignment number 1 video. You'll write solving equations review, either on another piece of paper or on the right side of your journals. The steps, I do want you to write these down. The more you write it down, the better you'll remember. The first step is to distribute and combine like terms, or CLT, on each side of the equal sign. You're going to move the variable terms to the left and the constant terms to the right. This should be a review by using addition and subtraction. And then our final step is to isolate the variable by using inverse operations, solving for x. Okay, so let's dive in. We're going to do 6 problems again. Pause my video if you need to write these down, guys. All right, first step is to distribute. Multiply the negative 3 to the 6x is negative 18x. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. Negative 51. These are not like terms. I can't combine these. So now we're just going to start right to step number 2, which is to move the variable terms to the left and the constant terms to the right. Luckily, we don't have variables on either side of our equal sign, so we just need to use our inverse operations to isolate our variable. And our variable in this instance is x. So we start with addition and subtraction. So because this is a negative 15, the inverse of a negative 15, or subtracting by 15, is adding 15 to both sides. Bring down the negative 18x. And I have you guys using your Desmos calculators. You don't have to type. You can type on your keyboard rather than using the clicking here. So you've got negative 51 plus 15 equals negative 36. Careful with your signs. And then you multiply or divide next. Because you have a number or a coefficient in front of a variable, this means that I'm multiplying the negative 18 times the x. The inverse of multiplication is division. Negative 36 divided by negative 18, and negative divided by a negative is positive. X equals positive 2. Oop! Meant to switch that over. Sorry, guys. Dividing by negative 18 on both sides, and then x equals 2. Okay. Number 2. We don't have any constants in front of a set of parentheses to distribute, but we do have variables on both sides. And I can't combine these terms. 4x plus 7, those aren't like terms. And 18 and 3x, those are not like terms. But we have 2 variable terms, one on either side of the equal sign. So we need to move our variable terms over to the left side and our constant terms over to the right side. So we've got to move this positive 3x to be over here on the left side. How are we going to move this positive 3x? By subtracting 3x. 4x minus 3x. Why did I put the negative 3x underneath here? Because this is its like term. I would not put it underneath the positive 7. That's not its like term. 4 minus 3 is negative x. Bring down the positive 7 equals 18, since this cancels. And now we solve for x. What's the inverse of adding 7 to both sides? Subtracting 7. And I have a negative, bring down the negative x equals 18 minus 7 is 11. I can't have that negative x term, so I can change the negative to a positive, but that means that I need to change the sign on the other side. So my final answer is x is negative 11. Number 3. First step is to distribute. I'm going to distribute on both sides. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times negative 3x is negative 9x. 2 times negative 4x is negative 8x. 2 times positive 7 is 14. I don't have anything to combine. These are not like terms, and these are not like terms. But I have 2 variables, terms, on either side of the equal sign. I've got to bring my variables. Some people like labeling the left side as v, and the right side as c. I got to move that negative 8x over to the left side by using inverse operations. So the inverse of a negative 8x is a positive 8x. Bring down the positive 3. Negative 9x plus 8x is negative x. You don't have to do that in your head. Put negative 9 and positive 8 in your calculator if you need to. This cancels. Bring down the positive 14. How do I get rid of this positive 3 in order to isolate my negative x? I subtract 3 from both sides. Bring down the negative x. 14 minus 3 is 11. Very similar to number 2. This is so funny. I can change the sign on this, but I also have to change the sign on the 11. So my final answer is x is negative 11 again. Number 4, there's nothing to distribute. I can't combine these like terms, but I do have 2 variables, terms on each side. I have to move this positive 3x to be over here with the 2x by using subtraction since it's a positive 3x. Then I'm going to subtract 3x on the other side as well and put the negative 3x on underneath its like term. So bring down the 5. 2x minus 3x is negative x. This cancels. Bring down the positive 7. Now I'm going to isolate my variable by using inverse operations. This is a positive 5. The inverse of a positive 5 is a negative 5. We're subtracting 5. Bring down the negative x. 7 minus 5 is 2. How do I get rid of the negative in front of the x? I can make it a positive, but it means I need to change the sign on the 2 as well. My final answer is x is negative 2. Two more. First step is to distribute. Distribute the negative 5 to the 4x, that's negative 20x. Negative 5 times negative 17 times negative 17 positive 85. Switch back over to my camera. 245. Now I'm going to start to isolate my variable. The inverse of a positive 85 is a negative 85. We're subtracting 85. Negative 20x, that I'll bring down. 45 minus 85, let's take a look at what that is. 245 rather, 245 minus 85. Positive 160. Okay. The negative 20 in front of the x means that we're multiplying. So in order to get rid of it, we'll divide by negative 20. $160 divided by negative 20 is negative 8. X equals negative 8. Last one. Distribute on the one side. And these are not like terms, I can't combine these. So it's 2x minus 4. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And again, these are not like terms, I can't combine these. But I have a variable term on the left and a variable term on the right. The variable terms need to go on the left side, and the constant terms need to go on the right side. So I have to move that negative 4x to be on the same side as the 2x by using inverse operations, which in this case is we need to be adding a 4x. The inverse of a negative 4x. Bring down the positive 20. 2x plus 4x, these are my like terms, that's why I lined them up, is 6x. Bring down the negative 4. 2 steps left. Now I have to isolate my variable by using inverse operations. The inverse of subtracting by 4, or negative 4, is adding 4 on both sides. Bring down the 6x equals 20 plus 4 is 24. The 6 in front of the x means that we're multiplying. The inverse of multiplication is division. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now this was all review, guys. That's why I included these notes here for you guys to take down. Do not be lazy and write these down. When you write them down, you remember it. But I also wanted to draw your attention to, if you do have your journals, where you can find the notes that we did originally on this, which would be on 1.8, two-step equations. That's why the table of contents is so important. So these 1.8 notes, two-step equations, would be very useful as well. Or the 1.8 part 3 notes, variables on both sides. These notes would also be helpful as well. Okay? I'll be doing tutoring on Friday for you guys to do these assignments with me if they prove to be pretty difficult. But otherwise, guys, reach out to me if you need any help. I'd be happy to help you throughout the week. Hope you guys have a great